to paycheck. Is that you? I'm the CEO of 5 different companies. I wasn't born into it. We lived on welfare, but I wanted more. I created this show, The School of Wealth, helping people escape poverty like I did. I want to help you out of that consumer debt, teach you how to increase your credit score, teach you how to make more money at your current job or your current business, and then how to actually create generational wealth without changing your lifestyle. It is going to be a lot of fun. This is not like regular school. Hey, I'm Rondy Lambeth, and this is the School of Wealth.
Hello. As you can see, I am not Rondy Lambeth. I am filling in today. My name is Chastney, and I am usually behind the scenes. I produce the School of Wealth. I do the social media. I'm the affiliate manager. So if you've talked to Rondy or talked to Fortress, you've probably talked to me. But today, Rondy has some meetings that he's doing, so I'm going to be filling in. So today I wanted to kind of go over with you guys the difference between using the perks and benefits of using credit over debit, why you really shouldn't use your debit card at all, and how to use your credit card in the way that's going to boost your credit the most. And then after, if you guys want to leave any comments now during the show or after, I'd be happy to answer any questions related to credit, our affiliate program here at Fortress, how we can get you set up with that. And then a little bit of business credit, not too much information on taxes, unfortunately, but I am very well-versed in credit and the credit repair side. So thank you guys so much. So, I remember when Rondy taught me to never use a debit. I remember him saying it all the time, telling me and everybody else. And because he said that if you use it, you're going to get hacked. Because it's bound to happen. And that's one of the scariest parts about using a debit card is if you get hacked, which is honestly bound to happen, it's not just like a credit card where they can just shut it off. They have access to your real money, to your bank account. And what happens is the bank will shut down your bank account. Usually it's like about a week. They shut it down to run an investigation. And during that time, you don't have access to your funds. So you're not able to pay your bills. You're not able to pay your credit cards. So if your debit card information gets leaked and you report it, it's a big mess. And it's crazy how often it happens. I remember for a while, I stopped using debit completely because it's just been drilled into my brain. And then one time I didn't have my credit card with me. So I went to use my debit card and my information got hacked. Someone the next day drained my account for a couple $1,000s, and my bank account was shut off for a while, and I couldn't pay my credit cards because my bank account was on hold. So now I have a couple different bank accounts, and I don't even own a debit card. The bank has never issued me a debit card, and that's what I recommend that you do. If you ever need cash or if you ever need to get money out, just go to the bank, deposit it. You can PayPal yourself, but most things you should pay with credit. Credit, the banks are a lot more likely to kind of be on your side and work with you. If someone steals your information, they are on your team. They believe you. The banks, it's almost like when you have a debit card, it's almost as if their job is to prove that you're the one scamming them, and they don't want to pay you that money. They don't want to cover it. Whereas the credit cards, they understand, they cover the money, it's not a hard process. And then they shut your account down instantly, and then they just turn your card back on or give you a new number. No big deal. The other thing with credit cards is, if you follow the rules that we teach, or the advice that we teach, you should at least have 3 credit cards at all time. So if one gets leaked or one gets hacked, you still have the other 2 to pay your bills, right? So that's kind of the biggest safety reason to use your credit instead of your debit. But credit just has so many other benefits, right? Our goal at Fortress, and our goal, if you're following Rondy and on our accounts, is to get you to a point where you're making money off of your credit cards, right? To the point where if you're getting cash back, you get 5%, like my Discover It card, I get 5% back on gas, on groceries, on Amazon, things that I buy every day. And so that's a 5% discount on everything, even compared to if I just use cash. So credit cards have perks that you want to take advantage of. Um, but we want to make sure that you know how to use your credit card correctly. Because if you are following our advice and using your credit card for absolutely everything, to maximize on points, to keep your accounts safe, it might, if you don't do it properly, it might end up looking like you're maxing out your cards and that you're spending all this money. And we don't want that either. So Rondi advises all the time, especially to our clients or people who are new to credit, or unfamiliar with credit, or just kind of dipping their toes in it, to keep your balances under 10%, which is absolutely correct. In order for your score to be good, you want it under 10% or under 7%, more specifically. But how do you keep it under 7% if you spend everything you buy with your credit card? So the way to kind of hack that is to use your credit to buy absolutely everything, and then to pay your statement date, or pay your balance down before statement date. So that's the day that they print your bill. So if you look on your credit card bill, you should be able to say, it's like July 1st through July 30th. If it's if it goes through July 30th, that means on July 30th, they take whatever the balance is, they print it on the bill, or June 30th, sorry. On the 30th is when they print the bill. And that's the balance that they give you a bill for, and that's the balance that they report to the credit bureaus. So the trick is to find out what date that is, and then to pay the balance down before that date. That way, when you get your bill, the bill only reports 1 to 7% of the balance. And you don't want to pay it off completely. You don't want a $0 balance, because when you have a $0 balance, that can trick the algorithm into it could trick the bureaus into kicking your card out of the algorithm, so you don't get the positive history. We don't want that either. So you want it to kind of be between 1 and 10%. So feel free to max out your credit card month after month, get as many points and cash back, and just use it safely. Just make sure to pay it down. Otherwise, you'll see your score kind of fluctuate. But the good news is, if one month you forget, and they report a high balance, all you got to do is just make sure to do it the next month. And then the next month, you'll see a huge increase in your score. And a lot of people, especially with new clients who are new to credit, they'll ask and they'll say, well, why would I spend everything on a credit card? I had to pay all that extra interest, and you had to pay to use a credit card. And that's simply not true. If you pay your credit card off in full each month, like you should, you don't pay a dime in interest. Some credit cards have yearly fees, annual fees, but the ones that you would get with the annual fees typically come with good benefits. Otherwise, you shouldn't get credit cards with annual fees. So if you're doing it right, not only do credit cards protect you from getting hacked and protect your real funds, they pay you for using them, and you don't pay interest if you use them right. And then they also boost your credit score like crazy. So make sure you have 3 credit cards, keep your balance between 1 and 7% by statement date. And then after they print the statement, after you get your bill for that 1 to 7%, pay that off in full every month. And I advise just setting it up on auto pay, so that it's all already there and you never miss a payment. So that's all I have on the debit versus credit, why you should do that. So I just want to open it up to anyone who has any questions, again, credit questions, credit repair questions, or questions on how to become an affiliate with us. I am the affiliate manager here at Fortress, and we love partnering with you guys, and working with you, helping your clients increase their credit, and then paying you, to kind of send them our way. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments here. I see people saying hello. Hello. Sorry, I'm never on camera. I'm always behind the camera. It's a little nerve-wracking. Hopefully my presentation came out okay. Lots of highs and hellos. Hello. All right. Okay, awesome. I'll probably get in there and message you about it later. Work with Ronnie, see what we can do if we can partner together. I usually handle all that. How much is it to receive our service? Great. Yeah, so right now we are paid on results. So there is a $325 enrollment fee. Um, and we actually, what's cool is we set that up on a trade line. We open up like an account. So you pay that off over a year. So it ends up being like 20 or 30 bucks a month towards your enrollment fee, which allows us to start reporting positive credit history to your account immediately on all three bureaus. So it's 325, but really we only need like 30 or 60 bucks to start. And then after that, we charge $125 per item per bureau that we get removed. But we also just add that to your installment account and allow you to pay that off over time. And the longer you keep that open, the more positive credit history you get. And so it's a great program. So we make it affordable, but it's technically $325 and then $125 an item. But if you want to give us a call, we would happily review your credit report with you over the phone and give you a quote based on what we can do and what's on your report. So there's the phone number on the bottom there. Let's see. Oh, okay. Awesome. Yes. So we have an amazing affiliate program as well. Let me put up the banner for that. I think I made them. Here we go. So if anyone's interested in becoming an affiliate, go to this link here, fortresscreditpro.com/become-an affiliate. Fill out that form for me. And then if clients ever call in, they mention your name, or if they sign up through the link that we create for you, we'll pay you $75 a lead. And then we also have cool structure. So, say you're a mortgage broker and you have people underneath you that are going to be referring people to us as well. We'll pay them $75 and then you $25 for referring them to us as well. So, we have an amazing, cool structure there. But I'll definitely look out for your DM, Derek. Does it hurt if you have more than 3 cards? No, no. Really, you can have as many cards as you want. Is they really the more cards you have, the more positive payment history you have. And then it also decreases the impact that getting a new card would have on your score. And what I mean by that is when you have, so say you have new baby credit, right? You just opened up your first 3 credit cards. A huge part of your score is based on the average length of time that they've been open. So Ronnie talked about this last week. And if you have any accounts that have been open less than 2 years old, it actually kind of dings your score a little bit, unless you're new, because it's positive history. But say you have, okay, so you have one account that's 10 years old, and then you open up a new account that's 1 years old. 10 years of history gives you like an 800 credit score, right? But now you open up a new card. So now the average between 1 and 10 is 5. So now your average history is 5 years. And so your credit score goes down to probably like 760, which is still great. But say you have a 10-year-old card and you open up 5 new accounts. So you have 5 cards that are all 1 years old, one that's 10 years old. That's like 15 years divided by 6. It's like 2 and something years, less than 3 years of history. So when you have a bunch of aged accounts, it's really, really good because it kind of helps with that algorithm. But what you don't want to do is open up a bunch of new accounts all at once. if you already have old history. If you don't have any history, it's actually great to open up a bunch now because they'll age together. And then as you open up new ones later, it won't impact the score as much. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, so it just depends how old they are, your age of history. But if you want to DM me, I'd be more than happy to kind of look at your exact case. But yeah, typically it's not bad to have more than 3 cards. All right. What are some ways of making money with credit? Is it good to have trade lines where you help people increase their score? Yeah, I mean, there's so many ways to make money with credit. Um, I mean, the kind of the most simple way is cash back and rewards. Like my Discover It card, I get cash back on everything. Even like if you don't even have good credit right now, Amazon has an amazing secured card that they give you 1% cash back. And I know we all are using Amazon like crazy, right? Especially, with this COVID situation. And so if you can save 1% on whatever you spend on Amazon, that adds up. So they even do that as when you just have a secured card with them, meaning you have bad credit, so you have to give them a deposit. So cards, you get cash back on everything. And then a lot of them you get perks. Like Rondi did a video recently that he was able to upgrade his car to a luxury car for like 20 bucks. And then he didn't have to pay for the car insurance because he paid for it with his credit card that already came with insurance. I don't have insurance on my cell phone because I bought my cell phone with one of my MasterCards that comes with free technology insurance for whatever I buy with my credit card. So if you look at credit cards, they come with so many amazing perks that save you money on so many things. The venture card came with free TSA check. Like the list is endless. So if you have good credit, I would just go to Credit Karma and see what credit cards you could apply for and look at all the benefits that kind of relate to you. I wish I could just give you a list of which cards are the best, but it just depends. It depends if you travel, depends if you rent stuff, it depends if you just want cash back. But there's so many ways. And then, so that's just having the credit cards. But as far as making money with credit, I mean, if with our business credit program, say you have like a 740 score, we could give you like $50,000 in loans, and then another $100,000 in credit cards for your business in a couple, like in less than 6 months. 6 months guaranteed. But um, credit opens the door for a lot of possibilities. Dave Ramsey says credit doesn't make you rich, but it sure does help. It does help open a lot of doors. So, all right. My wife's been a client. I just signed up today. Our company's awesome. Thank you. When you pay down a credit card balance, will all the points lost come back the following month? Yes. So, yeah, that's what I was meaning. So, say one month you forget to pay it down underneath the 10% before they printed your bill. So, when you got this bill, it's maxed out. Your score is going to hurt that month. But you just pay that in full, always paid in full, no matter what the balance is. That way you don't pay interest. So paid in full. And then next month, remember to pay it down before they print your bill, and your credit score will go right back up. So yeah, they don't keep history of that. It really just depends on what your balance is each month. So it can go up and down and up and down. So just try to make it a habit. I put reminders in my phone that say pay off MasterCard, pay off Venture Card, pay off Capital One or whatever. So I have all my statement dates on my phone so I remember. I didn't use a card and they closed the account. Yeah. Yeah, this sucks. Does it hurt? Most likely, especially if the card was less than 4 years old. We've seen this happen with people who have, that's why we say don't get retail cards. Like don't get like a Home Depot card or like a JC Penney's card unless you know you're going to use it all the time. I did this with a Victoria's Secret card that I used once, but then I kept going back and buying like lip gloss or buying like one thing for like 10 bucks just to keep the account open. Because if you close an account before it's 2 years, it hurts you. If you close it before it's 4 years, it's not really helping you. Um, in less than a year, it's really bad. Uh, so yeah, if you have a card, make sure to use it. It's best to like we recommend. With normal cards, put like Netflix on one, Hulu on the other. That way, there's just something on there that's automatically going through each month, and then automatically set it up on auto pay. So you never have a balance. You never have to pay interest. And then if you have any retail cards, don't get any more. They're not a good idea. But if you have them already, just make sure to use them at least every 90 days. Even if you have to go into Home Depot and put a Snickers bar on your credit card and then, pay that off the next month in full. That'll keep the card open. All right, I just opened up 4 secured cards and 2 credit builder loans right before I started your service. Your trade line and red check also should be reported soon. I know that'll bring down my average age of credit. When will these trade lines start helping my score versus bringing it down? Um, Great question. So I would assume, especially since you just got 4 new secured cards and credit builder loans, that you don't have a whole lot of history already. And so in your case, and in the case of a lot of our clients that don't have history, it's still better to have these accounts. It really only hurts you if you have a bunch of history and then you get a bunch of new accounts. That kind of hurts you. But in your case, um, 6 months is when you're going to start really seeing some good results from it. And then after that, every year, you're going to see a big boost. And what's so great about having 4 cards all at once is once all those cards hit 2 years and then hits 4 years, your score is going to skyrocket and then it's going to stay there, even if you get new cards. So just don't open up any other ones until those are aged. Keep them open. Credit builder loans, though, we don't like them very much because you can't keep them open very long. Um, Even with our line of credit, if you don't plan on keeping it open over 2 years, we'll report your credit history for now, which helps your score. But if it's ultimately dragging down your average age of history, we'll just remove it from your report. We want to make sure it's helping you. But for you, it'll definitely help you because it's giving you all that positive history. So in a month or two, when all the positive history starts hitting, you'll be in good shape. But with credit builder loans, I don't usually recommend them because they're normally only for like a year or two. So I would check and see how long you can keep that open. If you can keep it open longer than 2 years, that'll be the best thing for your credit. How many credit cards can you apply for at once? It's our maximum number. Yeah, I mean, you can apply for as many credit cards as you want. But like I said, if you already have a bunch of accounts open right now and you open up a bunch of new ones, it's going to hurt your average age of history a lot. But if you're so you don't want to open too many at once. You really don't. You want to get just if one really has the benefits that you need, get it. Or if you don't have any, then yeah, definitely get at least 3. But technically, you can apply for as many credit cards as you want. And the cool thing is, everyone freaks out about inquiries. But if you apply for all those credit cards in the same 30-day window or in the same month, it only affects your credit score as if it was one inquiry. It'll still show you have like 25 inquiries. So if a bank was to physically look and say, how many inquiries does this client have? Oh, 25? Oh, that's weird. That's not so good. They can still see that. But as far as how it impacts your credit score, if you get them all in the same month, it only counts as one towards your score. And then, we delete inquiries as well. I don't know if we're supposed to say, but we have like 100% success rate with inquiries, usually within the month. So if you need them removed, let us know. All right. Quick question. I recently just got my first credit card. I have a 640 credit score across the board. I have $100 payment history and about an average 5 years history. Oh, okay. Um, okay. So if this is your first credit card, then you probably have like a car loan or a student loan or something else that's boosting your history. So that's great. Yeah, that'll happen. If you have older accounts, they'll kind of boost you. So if you have like a 10-year-old student loan, you get a new credit card, that would make your average age 5 years. So just be mindful of that as you get more credit cards. But if you just have the first one, I would go ahead and get two more now. That way they can kind of age together and it's not going to continuously lower your score as you get, because you need to have three credit cards. If you don't have three credit cards, you're not getting all the points that FICO gives you for having credit cards. So make sure you have at least three. Um, yeah, I mean that depends. It depends on what scorecards you're in, if you have any negative items. Um, and don't be at zero utilization. You got to keep that above 1% utilization. Otherwise, they kick it out of the algorithm. So, but yes, if you have your balance between 1 and 7, I mean, we've seen clients get a 100-point increase from that. It just kind of depends how much history you have, how you're classified. If you don't know a lot about scorecards, they kind of change how high your score can go, right? So if you're new to credit, there's no possible way for you to get a 740 score because you're in a new scorecard. And so the max score, I don't know what the numbers are. I don't think anybody does. But they have a max that your score could possibly be. So even if you have perfect payment history, even if you have no late payments, nothing negative, no inquiries, your score can only go so high. So there's so much room for it to increase and decrease. Whereas if you've had cards open for 10 years and you've never missed a payment, you have a mortgage, you have at least three credit cards, um, and nothing negative, I mean, your score can fluctuate from 350 to 850 depending on your utilization. Maybe not that much, but probably like from 600 to 850 depending on your utilization. So it just depends. Uh, well, closing new accounts. Nope. Nope. What that does, it sets them in stone. So definitely don't close new accounts. That's the worst thing you can do because then they'll never age. So when you have new accounts, and it sucks because we try to tell our clients don't open up any new accounts, other than the three credit cards because it really sets us back sometimes, and you just have to wait for them to age. So, when it gets 6 months, when it gets a year, when it gets 2 years, you'll see the score go up, and then you also get the payment history from it. So just make sure you don't miss a payment. But definitely closing those accounts. If you close it at 1 years old, now you have an account that's 1 years old that's going to mess up your history for the next 7 years, and it's going to mess up that equation. So keep them open. Try to just let them age. 1% with no credit card history. It just kind of depends. If you have a Credit Mojo account with us, though, you can see. You can go to creditmojo.com, and we have a little tool that's like spend this much on credit cards this month, or spend this much on credit cards this month, and you can see based on the scorecard you're in and your history how much your score will fluctuate. But typically, it's about 50 to 100 points. Our old collections accounts that have been closed bring the score down. Yeah, yeah, collections, they don't bring down the accounts for average age of history, unless they're still on your account with like late payments or something as the account. But the collection shows up in a different part of the credit report, and that hurts your score significantly. As it gets older, it'll hurt your score less. But yeah, collections, they ding your score, and then they also put you in a lower scorecard so that your score now gets maxed out at like 680 or 500. Like how it depends on how many collections you have, but collections are score killers. They're like the worst thing you can have. But we have an extremely high success rate with collections. We usually get about 70% of collections removed. So give us a call. Let me put the number back up so we can order your credit report and give you a quote for repair, so we can get those removed for you. When we sign up for us, do we suggest other things along? Yes. Yeah. So definitely just do these lives. We're going to send out information on what you can do to kind of boost your credit score. Follow Rondi on Instagram and social for advice. And then also, as a client, you're assigned a client advisor. And so you have a person that you work with that kind of coaches you based on your credit report on what you can kind of do to boost your score and answers any questions that you have. And then I do all the social media and messaging. So if you ever have any questions or want to know what you can specifically do, I would gladly log into your credit report and give you a full analysis on things that you can do alongside us. So good question. Credit Karma be tripping. Credit Karma is not a real report. Credit Karma gets paid to sell credit cards. It is the most brilliant marketing thing of all time. It's all of a sudden they figure out a way to get all the Americans to give them their most sensitive information in exchange for selling credit cards. So Credit Karma is tripping. They're just trying to get you to buy their credit cards. You don't need 21 accounts. That's ridiculous. But good questions. Yeah, no, credit card's not a real report. They only show 2 years of history. They don't even show Experian, which is the most important one. They're just trying to sell you stuff. But they are really good. The reason I like Credit Karma is because if you're trying to buy credit cards or shop for credit cards, which is what they're for, um, they show you which credit cards you can qualify for and the perks of each one. So it's a good tool when shopping for credit cards. It's not a good tool for working on your credit. Um, Thank you. Credit Builder wants to build a relationship with a credit union, and I'm trying to do the secured loan hack. Awesome. Yeah, that's great. I'm glad you know about the loan hack. So if anyone doesn't know about that, what we advise with loans is to pay down the balance to a small amount. And then, so say you have a loan for like $2,000, pay it down to like $200, $100, and then pay like $5, $10 a month for the remaining months while it's open. That way you don't pay any interest on the full balance, or less interest, I guess. And it keeps the account open so they don't close it early, which gives you all the great positive history. So no, that's great, Christy. Especially if you're trying to build a relationship with the bank and they set you that program. That's good. Just try to keep it open. It's really hard because they're the government. They're not actually the government, but they hide behind the government and they just ignore us. So sometimes we send them letters and then they just ignore us. We'll send them letters being like, we're going to sue you. And they laugh at us. So it's hard. But what's cool with federal student loans and late payments is if you have late payments on your federal student loan and the account is open, all you have to do is call them and ask to be put on the rehabilitation program. And once you make 9 payments on time, they'll delete all the negative credit history for you free of charge. So, but yeah, once the account closes or go to collections, you just got to kind of let it fall off and do whatever you can to have positive history lessen its impact. You're welcome. um, uh, Credit cards, so credit cards I recommend if you're new to credit, um, you need secured credit cards. Like I said, the Amazon secured one is my favorite because they give you cash back, and then after a year, they just turn it into a normal unsecured credit card and refund your deposit. And then we have a bunch of different credit cards on our website for people who don't have credit for our clients. These are secured cards that are going to guarantee approve you as long as you don't have bankruptcy. No, it's not bankruptcy. I think it might be bankruptcy. They approve most people. The chances of them not approving you are really rare. So fortresscreditpro.com/credit cards are secured credit cards that we recommend. And as far as the deposit goes, just give them the smallest amount because you're just don't expect to ever get that back. So you want to keep that account open as long as possible. And then if you have good credit, I highly recommend the Venture Card. I like to travel. I do a lot of travel hacks. Travel is my life. And so the Venture Card comes with some really great traveling rewards. And then I like the Discover It card. It's got cash back, like 5% cash back on different things every quarter. And again, I just recommend going to Credit Karma and seeing which credit cards kind of look best for you, what you do and what you like. If you order a credit report, doesn't it count as a hard pull? Not if you order it. If you pay for your credit report, it doesn't hurt your credit. So if you order it through Credit Mojo, it's $25. We just pass on the savings we get from the bureaus onto our clients. Most places charge you $40 for the credit reports, but that's because they're trying to profit off of them. We're just trying to let you guys have a good place to order them. So on creditmojo.com, you can order your report, and we're paying the credit bureaus to look at it, so it does not count as an inquiry. Does paying yeah, actually it does. So we're working with them now, just to make sure. So before you call them and verify that, I know we're in the middle of negotiating with them because that was a big selling point for us. We wanted to make sure that they could use this hack, but do not do it before the repair is finished. There was some sort of like weird thing with it, but at the 6-month mark, if you set up the payment plan for like the 2 years, I know we were setting something up. So message me or give us a call so we can go over that in detail with you. And I'll have more information about that later. We're negotiating it, but that was our intent. That's the goal. Private student loans, yeah, but it's probably one of the most challenging things to get removed. It's almost pointless, unless you have proof that it's inaccurate or the balance is wrong. Um, our normal tactics just aren't very successful with them. So I don't think we don't dispute them anymore because it's just a waste of our time and our stamps because the success rate's so low. So it's very hard. How much is it to get all your inquiries removed? We charge $25 an inquiry, and we only work on the ones that are not attached to an open account. If you dispute inquiries that are attached to open accounts, it's bad. So they might close your account. So it's just $25 an inquiry for any accounts that were not opened. Good cards for your 18-year-old. Yeah, that one for an 18-year-old, definitely the fortresscreditpro.com/credit cards. The first two ones on there, I think, are the best. And then absolutely the Amazon secure card. Another thing you can do for your 18-year-old is add them on to your account as an authorized user. If you have accounts that are over 4 years old that you pay off in full each month and keep under 10%, you don't want to add them to maxed out cards or cards with late payments. But the cool thing about adding them as an authorized user to your cards is they get all the history. But you don't have to give them an actual card. They don't actually access your money. They don't have access to your account. All you're doing is just letting them piggyback off your credit. But that'll boost their score significantly. One of my best friends came to me recently because she's never had a credit card and she's 30 and she's ready to finally start building it. So her score was like 500. Literally, she had one thing on her report. I think it was like a medical collection or something. I don't remember. So I went and I added her onto my credit cards. And 1 month later, her score was 750. So she messaged me extremely excited. And she was able to kind of do a lot with that. So if you've got good credit, I would recommend adding them to your accounts. Thanks. Can you please read what questions you're answering? Yeah, sorry, I thought I was. I'm trying to. Sorry if I skipped any. But if you watch the video, they should be on the screen. right here. But if you want to let me know which one you're talking about, what I was talking about, sorry. All right, and I think I'm out of questions, so let's see if I missed any. Oh, yeah, Credit Mojo and Identity IQ are pretty similar. The cool thing is, yes, it does come with identity theft protection, but the cool part with Credit Mojo is it also comes with credit repair. Sorry, my brain is spacing. Credit repair insurance, right? So if you're a client with us and after your repair, you keep your Credit Mojo account open, if anything gets added to your report, whether it's from you or not, we will dispute it for free. You have to keep the account open. You can't close it at any time. But if you keep it open, after we're done repairing, we'll work on anything free of charge. And that even goes when we start the repair. Say you hire us, you've got 20 items on your report, and the next month, all of a sudden, 10 more items pop up. We don't charge you for them. So I recommend switching to Credit Mojo. If you want to check it out, you can always switch back. If you have Identity IQ, we can also use that with our credit repair with our new system. I think right now we can't. So I do recommend using Credit Mojo. When we remove inquiries, do they just get off from Experian or all three sites? Yeah, so we dispute them from all three bureaus. So with the inquiries, um, I'm pretty sure it's just $25 an inquiry. The other accounts that we work on, we charge per item per bureau. So if you have, 10 accounts with late payments and we get them removed from all three bureaus, that's, 1,250. I don't know if I did my math right there, but it's $125 per item per bureau normally. But with inquiries, I believe we do all three for $25. All right. You are very welcome. Let's see. Um, Let me just put up our phone number here one more time for y'all. So thank you guys so much for joining me and for your questions. I hope this was a help. If you guys have any further questions, you can always DM me. I'm most likely responding on Rondi's page, or you can DM me directly on Fortress, Fortress Credit Pro, on Instagram or on Facebook. So thank you guys so much. That is a wrap, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the future. Thank you.